If you are an adult who wants to take composing video game music seriously, and your biggest fear sounds something like, my family won't understand, or my parents will think I'm irresponsible, or what if they're disappointed, angry, or ashamed of me? This video is for you. Now, a quick line in the sand, if you're a minor, which means in the United States, you are under the age of 18 and you're still fully dependent on your parents, that's a different conversation. Now, if you're an adult, you're 18 or older, you can legally make your own decisions, and maybe you're already ready to pay some bills of your own. You're old enough to choose, but you still feel like you need permission. This video is not about how to convince your family that composing music is a good idea for you. This is about, number one, who actually carries the cost of your decisions. Number two, what support really means. Number three, how to make adult choices even when your family disagrees. And number four, how to do it in a way that is responsible, not reckless. We're going to attack the fear logically from every angle, and we're going to rock and roll. So when you say, I'm afraid my family won't support this, what do you actually mean? Usually, it's one or more of these following things. Number one, fear of emotional discomfort. These are things like, I don't want to see disappointment in their eyes, or I don't want arguments at every holiday. Number two, fear of losing belonging. This sounds like, what if they think I'm irresponsible and stop taking me seriously? Or what if I get labeled a failure in the family? Number three, fear you might be wrong. That sounds like, what if they're right and I ruin my life chasing this? Or if I go against them and it fails, I'll feel stupid. Now, notice none of this is actually about music. It's all about conflict, identity, and risk. Now, before we go logical, ask yourself real quick. If my family magically said, we're behind you 100%, do it, would you suddenly know exactly what to do and have no fear? No. You'd likely still be scared, so family support is not the core variable. It might give you more certainty, but it's more an excuse your brain uses to avoid stepping into uncertainty. All right, so let's look at who pays the bill for your decisions. Let's do a simple logic check most people never do. Imagine two scenarios 20 years from today. Scenario one. You live your family's version of your life. You pick the safe path they approve of. Keep music small, private, or a tiny side hobby. Don't make any decisions that would rock the boat. They feel comfortable. They get to tell friends, my kid did a sensible thing. And they never have to confront their own fears through you doing something that is different than what they know. Who pays the biggest price in this scenario? You. You're the one who goes to the job you hate, watches other people live your dream, and has to live with the what if when your family is not in the room. They experience mild discomfort avoided. You experience long-term regret accumulated. All right, scenario two. You live your version of your life. You decide to pursue music seriously, full-time or serious part-time. You set financial constraints and time frames like an adult, and you risk some emotional blowback. They might be disappointed, angry, or confused. They might talk about you behind your back for a while. They might worry about you. Who pays the biggest price if you don't do this? Still you. The key is that your family pays the emotional bill once in a while, but you pay the existential and emotional bill every single day. Logically, the only person qualified to choose the trade-off is the person who lives with the trade-off 24/7, and that is you. Now let's separate valid concerns from control. Not all family pushback is bad. Some of it is concern expressed in a clumsy way. They might worry about you going into debt, you quitting a stable income with zero plan, you moving out with no safety net, you being exploited in a shady industry, which, by the way, the video game music industry, by and large, is the least shady of all the types of music industry I've ever been in. Now, these are all valid risk questions and concerns. Now, the logical adult move is not ignore your family, YOLO, and burn all bridges. The logical adult move is acknowledge real risks. Yes, money matters. Yes, I need food, shelter, water, health insurance. Yes, creative fields can be brutal when you get rocking and rolling with them. Now, number two, you design constraints. You say, look, I'll keep my day job while building music for X number of months or X number of years. Or I'll save 6 to 12 months runway before going full time. Or I'll cap my paid education investment at X dollars this year. And then communicate like an adult. This is number three. Say, look, I've thought this through. Here's the plan. Here's how I'm reducing risk. And also, here's the risk that I personally am willing to take on right now. And they understand that might not be the risk that you're going to take on, but it's my life and I want to take on this risk. This does two things. Number one, it shows you're not some teenager rebelling against your parents. You're an adult taking calculated risk and a risk that you are aware that you are taking. And number two, it exposes where their feedback is about safety versus control. If they still say, we forbid you, or you're not allowed, while you're paying your own bills and making a plan, we've left concern and entered control. At that point, it's no longer about your well-being or your happiness. It's about their comfort and their image. As an adult, you are not morally obligated to live your life to protect someone else's image. So what is support really? Let's define the term that we keep using. My family supports me. My family doesn't support me. What does this actually mean? So support can mean one of three things. Number one, emotional support. This sounds like we believe you're capable. We love you even if we don't understand. It's, hey, look, I love you, you go do you. Number two is practical support. That sounds like you can stay here while you get started, or we'll help you financially until you get going. Number three is approval and validation. We believe that this is a good idea. We're proud that you're following your dreams. Now here's the adult truth. You do not need approval to act. You might not get emotional support the way that you want it. And you also should not count on practical support as the foundation of your plan. Most people secretly define support as they agree, cheer for me, tell everyone how amazing I am, and I never feel fear or discomfort about my choices, and they never feel fear or discomfort about my choices. That's not support, that's a fantasy. The realistic adult definition is support is a bonus, not a requirement. My job is to build a life that I won't resent, even if the people I love don't clap for it at first. Now that's framed in a way, like say, I want to build a life I don't resent. I would also flip that around and also say, I want to build a life that I dream of. I want to build a life that fulfills me, where I walk out and play out the things that I want to do that are in my heart to do. Now, support often follows proof. At first, people will say things like, look, we don't think this works. After years of consistent action and results, they might say, look, oh, we knew you always had it in you. Now, you can be angry that it works like that, or you can understand that people project their fears onto you. So they're scared of something, so they say, oh, surely if someone else goes and does that thing, I'm scared for them too. Number two, people trust a track record. Number three, people feel safer once you've proven you can survive. Your job is not to argue them into supporting you. Your job is to create a track record so they have to respect what you're doing, even if they would have chosen differently. When I was 17 years old and I was headed out to my first music school, which was a pure music school, my great uncle sat me down. He took me aside and he was like, you're putting all your eggs in one basket. This is such a mistake. You need to at least get a liberal arts education where you do all this other stuff. And it's like, he could not have been more wrong. And even when I was 17, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted to get into music. And I didn't allow that conversation to deter me. And now it's like, I got all these books, I help all these people. And had I listened to my uncle, none of this would have happened. I would not have built the dream that I wanted, that I felt in my heart that I was called to, that I was being pulled towards. So let's talk about some tactics for how you actually talk to your family. Number one, you've got to get clear with yourself first. Before you say a word to your family, answer the following questions. Number one, what exactly am I committed to? X hours a week on music for Y number of years, right? Saving X dollars of runway and then testing doing music full time for Y months. And then what am I not going to do? I'm not going to go past X numbers in debt. I'm not going to be quitting my job with zero savings. If you're vague with yourself, you'll be vague with them. They'll sense it and they will go harder. Step number 2, acknowledge their role and their fears. Here's an example script. I know you care about me, you love me, and you've worked so hard to create stability for me. I also know that the idea of me doing music feels risky and scary to you. I get that. It's not that I don't hear you. This already takes down their defenses of you don't understand what's going on. The first step is you've always got to be able to say back to someone their argument in words where that person goes, yeah, you fully understand where I'm at. And you can see it. You've been talking to people your whole life. You'll see the moment where you speak someone's argument back to them in a way that is so clear that they go, yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. So make sure you fully understand their argument and you're able to give it back to them at a level where they go, whew. You'll see they relax into it, like, oh, I'm understood. Now, once they understand that you understand them, then you state your decision and you don't ask permission. Say something like, I've thought a lot about it and I've decided I'm going to make music seriously for the next number of years. I'm going to do it in a way that is responsible. I'd love your support, but I am not asking for your permission. Again, I've decided I'm going to. I love your support. I'm not asking for your permission. Now, step number 4 is present your plan and how you understand risk. Here's how I'm handling things from a practical side. This is you talking. I'll keep my job for the next X number of months or years. I'll commit Y hours of music per week. I'll save Z months of expenses before considering any big jump. And I won't borrow more than N number of dollars for anything related to this. If after X years I cannot make meaningful progress, I will reevaluate. Now, it's not that I'm chasing a dream, it's I'm running an experiment for a fulfilling life on my terms with guardrails. Step number 5, draw the boundary. If they push, we don't approve, you're making a mistake, you can answer, I hear and I understand you don't approve. And again, mirror back to them their argument of how they don't approve. And if you don't understand how they don't approve, keep asking them until they tell you. And if they're in a state where they're so emotional that they're not able to have that conversation with you, revisit it another time. And if they never get to the point that they're able to emotionally interface with you to have a reasonable conversation, then you just need to go make your own decisions. So you can say to them, look, I hear you don't approve for these reasons. Say their reasons back to them. I also know that I'm the one who has to live my life. And I'd rather make my own mistakes than live with resentment for never trying because I was afraid of disappointing you. I love you and I'm doing this. That's it. You don't need them to agree. You need them to understand that you're serious. All right, number 6, obliterate the last escapes. So let's tackle the yes buts. So what if they're right and I end up broke and miserable? Well, 2 parts. Number 1, you control how reckless you are. Don't quit with zero savings. Don't take insane loans. Don't bet the house on one launch. Number 2, broke and trying does not equal broke and never tried. If the worst comes to worst and it doesn't work, you have skills you didn't have before. You have proof you're the kind of person who goes for things, and you can always get another job. And I will add this in too. It's like off of $20 a week, you can get enough calories for yourself to survive. Like, if you're able to watch this video, you have access to enough calories that you will not die. You also have access to water. Now, safe and resentful is not a better outcome than took a shot and had to adjust. The next question you might have would be, what if they cut me off or disown me? That's the scariest scenario that people can imagine. Well, look, here's 3 things. Number 1, most families don't actually go that far. They threaten, guilt, manipulate, but fully disowning is rarer than your fear might suggest. Number 2, if they do disown you for making a thoughtful, reasonable adult choice about your own life, that says more about their relationship to themselves than about you. This is not a love with concerns. That is a control and conditional acceptance. That's not love. Number 3, you are always going to have to confront that dynamic eventually. Putting your life on hold to avoid discovering the truth about your family's capacity to love you as an adult does not make that truth go away. It just delays it. Your next question might be, well, isn't it selfish to go against my family's wishes? Here's the ethical test as far as I can see it. Number 1, are you deliberately trying to hurt them? Yes, no. Number 2, are you refusing to take basic responsibility of yourself, money, health, obligations? Yes, no. Or are you simply choosing a path they wouldn't choose for themselves? There's a difference between abandoning my kids to go be a rock star, not okay, versus I am 28, single, paying my bills, and choosing to pursue music seriously even though my parents would prefer I be an accountant. That, for me, is ethically fine. You're not a character in your family's movie. They don't get to write the script for you to keep their anxiety low. So let's talk about your actual choices from here. So after all of this, you really only have 3 options. Option 1, surrender your life to their fear. Do what they want, keep music small, tell yourself you're being respectful, and meet your older self in 20 years and explain why you never tried. Option 2, secret rebellion with no plan. Pretend to comply, go through music in the shadows, no clear commitments, no risk plan, no communication, and end up proving them right because you acted like a child. Number 3, adult ownership. Decide what you want. Make a reasonable plan with constraints. Have a hard conversation. Act on it consistently, whether or not they approve. And only one of these options respects your future, their humanity, and reality. The other 2 are just different flavors of being a coward. Avoiding conflict, avoiding responsibility, avoiding regret in the short term, and maximizing it in the long term. You're allowed to be scared, but if you're doing right by yourself, it is my belief you're not allowed to pretend that fear means logic. So here's what you do next. Write out your do-nothing timeline. If you keep prioritizing your family's comfort over your dreams, what does your life look like at age 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70? Imagine yourself at 80 years old looking back at your life. Would you regret not having actually given music a shot? 2, write out your 5-year adult ownership timeline. If you commit to X number of hours of music per week for 5 years with guardrails, where could you reasonably be? How will you feel about yourself at 80 years old knowing you gave this a shot? Number 3, write the script you're going to use with your family. Not to ask permission, to inform them like an adult. Include your plan, your guardrails, your acknowledgement of their fears, and make sure, again, you understand where they're coming from to the point that you can say their position back to them in a way that they are like, yes, you get it. And then number 4, set a date in the next 7 days to have that conversation. If you're too afraid to even schedule it, admit that to yourself. And say to yourself, right now, I'm choosing my family's temporary comfort over my lifelong regret. Sit with that idea until it is more painful to keep avoiding than to act. If you want help with the practical side, how to use the hours you do have to actually get good at music, finish music, release the music, and build a real shot at having a career, get yourself in a structured program with a community, a mentorship where people are already creating, composing, and releasing music at the level that you want to do it at. Now, even if you never join anything, stop outsourcing your life to people who don't have to live it. You can love your family deeply and still refuse to abandon yourself. You are an adult. You have complete and total sovereign agency over your life. I invite you to start acting like the one who has to answer to your future self, not just to your parents' anxiety. Make the plan, have the conversation, then go to work.